People here that are delegates, would you like to be counted as part of the quorum for downstairs?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you would like to. Okay. We'll tell you what we're going to do. They need a quorum downstairs. And there are 70 up here. So what we're going to do is limit. We'd like to do
Just these guys, because you guys came back.
They don't want you to observe.
They don't have a quorum downstairs because a lot of people have left. And they're upset because some people are here at the committee instead of being down there as a delegate to the state convention. So what I would like to ask, those of you that are delegates to the state convention, if you would like to be counted as part of the quorum for the convention downstairs so that the platform can continue, please raise your hand. Anybody that's in this room who's a delegate who wants to be part of the quorum, please raise your hand.
Marie, what about the observers? Can they?
If they are delegates, count them.
Okay. When I count you, put your hand down.
This is a fair way of doing it so that they can continue discussing the platform. We can go in another meeting, I'll go down and give them that count, and I'll ask the chair of the convention to make sure that 26. Okay? We want to keep everybody happy.
Hey, Marie. Hey, Marie.
They have to make it
Part of the process of being a quorum is being present.
Pardon?
You have to be present to be part of the quorum.
Well, we can say this is part of the room down there. If let's just get the count. All right, everybody says till 3:30. We're going this back over.
They did.
They'll have to make their own decision. I need to tell you, very recess. I'll put them here. I didn't say no wrong. Good afternoon. I'm going to go through this really quick. Let's call this meeting to order. Sharon James, would you please offer prayer on all of us? Madam Secretary, roll call.
Okay, roll call. These are non-voting officers. Chairman, Belinda Viafor. Vice Chair, Chris Regan.
Here.
Second Vice Chair, Kenny Perdue. Associate Chair, Bob Stoltz.
Here.
National Committee Woman, Elaine Harris.
Here.
National Committee Man, Pat Maroney.
Here.
First Congressional Vice Chair, Tom Stolniker. Second Congressional Vice Chair, Tom Vogel. 3rd Congressional Vice Chair Josh Stowers. Recording Secretary Kelly Palmer, here. Associate Secretary Susan Hubbard. Treasurer Jerry Brookover. Parliamentarian James Casey.
Here.
Counsel Marvin Masters. And Executive Director Kurt Zickafus. These are the voting members. If I call your name again, I realize that, but this is for a quorum count. Federation of Democratic Women, Sheila Hunley. Kristen Ross. Larry Puccio has a proxy. Derek Scarborough. Karen Poria. Steve White has a proxy. Marie Prezioso. Doug Facemeyer. Tim Miley has a proxy. Nancy Guthrie. Chris Yost. Holly Smith. Jack Yost. Susan Riley. Kim Frum. Jeff Kessler. H. John Rogers has a proxy. Jesse Dale King. Sharon James. Jean Grapes has a proxy. Michelle Russin. Jerry Brookover. Walt Oval. Bonnie Fruth. Betty Totten. Keith Brotherton. James Casey.
Here.
Susan Hubbard. Marie Reynolds has a proxy. Lacey Connolly. Stephen Reed. Doug Reynolds has a proxy. Ronald Bowen. Anita Skeens Caldwell has a proxy. Rocky C. Charles Sammons. Sue-Ann Zickafus. Gloria Triplett. Josh Stowers. Robbie Queen has a proxy. Rachel Stevens. Ginny Moles.
Here.
Denise Tucker.
Here.
Josh Martin.
Here.
Elisa Moy.
Here.
Linda Good Phillips has a proxy. David Thompson.
Here.
Paul Flanagan.
Here.
Richard Browning has a proxy. Wayne Revich. Thanks, Karen. Mary Lou Haley. Shirley Love. Jeff Campbell. Julia Stevenson. Andrea Hayes. Bucky Frame has a proxy. Dan Snyder. Frank Bush has a proxy. Charles Church. Brenda Monahan has a proxy. Bob Stoltz. Robin Stoltz. Ron Fergale.
Here.
Martin Schaefer.
Here.
Belinda Beafor. Kelly Palmer. Mike Caputo. Rodney Piles. Rita McCrovey has a proxy. Nimrod Riley.
Here.
Carrie Blaney. Jeremy Cooper.
Here about proxy.
Do you have a written proxy?
I have a written.
I'll move on while he's bringing that up to me. Mike Withers. Mary Kay Staggers.
Here.
David Webb.
Here.
Carolyn Snyder has a proxy. Alex Taft.
Here.
Cheryl Lawrence. John Unger has a proxy. H.S. Lee Coons.
Here.
Stephen Skinner.
Here.
Sue Bayless has a proxy. Elaine Harris.
Here.
Barbara Hatfield.
Hear about proxy? I turned my papers in downstairs when I came in.
Okay, I'll have to get a copy. Proxy, and it's,
Brenda Isaac,
okay. Brenda Isaac, okay. Richie Robb has a proxy. Ty Robb.
Here.
Doug Scaff Sr.
Here.
Okay, the only thing I need is the proxy from Jeremy Cooper. And the name on that is John Cooper.
Madam Secretary. Yes. Question. The proxy that you named for Tim Miley,
Nancy Guthrie.
not in his district.
Doesn't have to be. He's the House member. Is the only reason he has a proxy as a voting House, and she's in a House of Delegates.
Oh, okay.
point of order, the proxy for Carolyn Snyder is unsigned. It is not
I have a
written.
voicemail and I have an email directing the way that proxy is supposed to go, and she said she'd be happy to answer a phone call. She was on her way down here, gave it to her neighbor. She wasn't coming, so she called. She sent an email, and I have a voicemail, and you can call her if you'd like.
I understand that, but it's not a written proxy under the West Virginia code. It doesn't count.
So that's something that we choose to do, then that's something we'll have to follow. We have accepted emails,
Wait.
texts.
Madam Chairwoman, I would ask if delegates speakers have the opportunity to review all of the proxies that anyone who chooses to see all of those proxies can do so. So at this time, if that's the question, I would also like to see any proxies as warning, and I encourage anyone else to ask questions of all of you.
Elliot?
I've reviewed all the proxies, other than the one that's missing.
Lee, you want to come up and review these as well? We do have a quorum. Okay. Well, we're doing those.
More important things to worry about that.
We're going to go ahead and move ahead, and then if we need to at the time, we can challenge that vote. We do have a few vacancies to fill. In the 1st District, Hancock County, Steve Corpus, who was the chair there, as well as a committee member, has passed away. And I have a letter from the Hancock County Executive Committee and Chairman asking that we replace him with Ronnie Jones. It's a Hancock County seat, so they want it in the election. They feel that it should remain in Hancock County. So, so moved. I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Motion by Mike Caputa, second by Walt Alville. All those in favor? Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Are there any other nominations? What county? And he's from Ohio County, correct? We have another nominee, Sean Fluharty from Ohio County. Yes, it is. Yes, yes, it's senatorial. Absolutely. Is there a second? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? At this time, we'll call for the vote. Madam Secretary, do you want a roll call vote? Roll call vote, or can we stand up? No, there's not an opening. Well, it's the same senatorial district, so it can come from Brooke, Hancock, or Ohio. And Brooke and Ohio already had a rep, so Hancock was asking to maintain a rep for them. Do you want to do a roll call, or you want to stand?
Roll call.
Okay.
Roll call.
Ronnie Jones. It was Steve Corpus, and the committee asked that we replace him with Ronnie.
Is he here, Madam Chair?
Pardon me?
Is he here, Mr. Jones, here?
He's not in the room. He's not here yet, no. He didn't realize that he needed to be here.
I'm here.
But
Fluharty's here.
Sean Fluharty is here.
And I realize we have a lot of proxies, but I will be calling the name of the person that's actually the elected member of the executive committee. Here's our proxy. You'll just answer who you're voting for. Sheila Hunley. Kristen Ross. Larry Puccio. Karen Correa. Steve White. I need to know, right, because there are so many proxies, I haven't had an opportunity to change all the names on here to reflect the proxy. So I'll just be saying the person that you're representing. And the vote is between Ronnie Jones and Sean Fluharty for the district. I got you. All right, Doug Facemeyer. Tim Miley. Chris Yost. Holly Smith. Jack Yost. Susan Riley. Kim Frum. Jeff Kessler. H. John Rogers. Sharon James. Jean Grapes. Jerry Brookover. Walt Alville. Bonnie Fruth. Betty Totten. Keith Brotherton. James Casey. Susan Hubbard. Marie Reynolds. Stephen Reed. Doug Reynolds. Anita Skeens Caldwell. Doris Moorfield. I'm sorry. She's, yeah. They can see. Sue Ann Zickafoose. Gloria Triplett. Josh Stowers, Robbie Queen, Jenny Moles, Denise Tucker, Travis, Josh Martin,
Blue Hardy.
Elisa Moy, Linda Good Phillips, Richard Browning, I'm sorry, Paul Flanagan, I skipped you. Barbara Painter, Mary Lou Haley, Shirley Love, Jeff Campbell, Julia Stevenson, Andrea Hayes, Bucky Frame, Frank Bush, Brenda Mollahan, Robin Stoltz, Ron Fergale, Martin Schaefer, Belinda Viafor, Kelly Palmer is Jones, Mike Caputo, Rodney Piles, Rita McCroby, Carrie Blaney, Jeremy Cooper,
Blue Hardy.
Mike Withers, Mary Kay Staggers, David Webb,
Blue Hardy.
Carolyn Snyder, her proxy, Cheryl Lawrence, John Unger, proxy, Stephen Skinner,
Blue Hardy.
Sue Bayless, proxy, Bobby Hatfield, Richie Robb, and Doug Scaff Sr. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Someone is counting along with me.
Mr. Fluharty, congratulations. Come take a seat. We also have 2 vacancies in the 6th District, female and male. I have a letter from Mingo County that they would like Tammy Bailey to be seated as the female. They have representation in Mercer and Wayne, and McDowell has none. Are there, may I entertain a motion for Tammy Bailey from McDowell County? Yes, sir. Okay. Wayne read it. Wayne? Are there any other nominations?
Are they here, Madam Chair?
I don't see them. Either one. I don't. Doris was here. She went, made contact with us there. Doris is here.
Right here.
Okay, Madam Chair. Are there any other nominations? Okay.
Nope. Roll call.
Sheila Hunley,
Doris Irwin, who's in the back of the room, everybody knows she's going to come training. Doris, you want to come up here?
Point of order, ma'am. I only heard one nomination from the committee.
I'd be happy to nominate Tammy Haley.
All right. Okay, now we have two nominations. Doris, come on up here. We'll let everybody see it. Here's Doris Irwin. Yes.
Tammy Bailey is the name of the other person.
I'll second that nomination. No, each seconds to nominate.
All right. Hunley. Thank you. Kristen Ross. Larry Cuccio. Karen Coria. Steve White. Marie. Doug Facemeyer. Tim Miley. Chris Yost. Holly Smith. Jack Yost. Susan Riley. Kim Frum. And I'm sorry, did I skip Sean Fluharty? I don't have you on here, so just hang on, let me add you. And you said Doris Irwin. Jeff Kessler. H. John Rogers. Sharon James. Jean Grapes. Jerry Brookover. Walt Oval. Bonnie Fruth. Betty Totten. Keith Brotherton. James Casey. Susan Hubbard. Marie Reynolds. Proxy. Stephen Reed. Doug Reynolds. Anita Skeens Caldwell. He said proudly for Charles Salmon. Sue Ann Zickafus. I heard that was a very small Doris. Gloria Triplett. Josh Stowers. Robbie Queen. Jenny Moles.
Hey, I had to consider you. Where's her?
Denise Tucker.
Doris.
Josh Martin. Elisa Moy. Linda Good Phillips. Paul Flanagan. Richard Browning. Barbara Painter. Mary Lou Haley. Shirley Love. Jeff Campbell. Julia Stevenson. Andrea Hayes. Messed me up there when you said Doris was in it early. Bucky Frame. Frank Bush. Brenda Mollahan. Robin. Ron Fergale. Martin Schaefer. Belinda. Kelly Palmer. Irwin. Mike Caputo. Rodney Piles. Rita McCrovey. Carrie Blaney. Jeremy Cooper. Mike Withers. Mary Kay Staggers. David Webb. Carolyn Snyder. Cheryl Lawrence. John Unger. Stephen Skinner. Sue Bayless. Barbara Hatfield. Richie Robb. And Doug Scaff, Sr. I think she did.
Welcome and congratulations.
And now for the 6th District Male. nominations. 6th District male. Wow. Is Cliff with us? Delegate?
He's in caucus right now.
Okay. Well,
We're trying to get him.
how about, are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Delegate Cliff Moore signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Great. Moving on to the 15th District, we have a male and a female. Are there any nominations for 15th District male?
David Webb, and I would nominate Bill Yearout. And if I could go on, I would say that he is highly qualified, has great experience, and is very deserving to be on this committee.
I would agree, and unifies his middle name. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? All those in favor of Bill Yearout signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Bill, are you in the room? Please come up and take a seat. We also have a female 15th District. Mary?
I would like to nominate Jane Yearout, extremely active Democrat, board Democrat, highly qualified.
Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? All those in favor of Jane Yearout signify by saying aye. Aye. Jane, all those opposed? Jane, welcome. Come on up and take a seat.
Madam Chairman, Chairwoman, I'm sorry. I would like to make a motion to have Travis Hoffman removed from the executive committee. He's missed 3 straight meetings, and we want to be appropriate to replace him.
We actually had a resignation letter from Travis. Karen just brought it to us.
I'm sorry that.
So, I don't like the idea of ever removing anybody, but if he felt he did not have the time right now, then... Yep. So that creates another vacancy in the 8th District. Are there any nominations?
I move for Harvey Payton.
Are there any other nominations? Is Mr. Payton in the room? Harvey Payton, all right. All those in favor of Harvey Payton signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Harvey. I think this speaks volumes. Here's a man who ran for Congress, who had fun running for Congress, who made great strides running for Congress, and he did not make it. He wasn't successful, and he's now pledging to work with this Democratic Party and to work to defeat Republicans. So thank you, Harvey Payton. Okay, they have a quorum, so we're going to continue. Next item is the election of executive committee officers. The first we will elect is the chair, and I'm going to ask Tom Vogel to come up.
This is for the election of the chair of the State Executive Committee. The floor is now open for nominations. Like Who does?
Thanks, Tom. Stand up here so they can see me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's certainly an honor to stand before this executive committee today. And I know the theme has been time to unite. And I know there's some discussions, disagreements, and some downright arguments going on downstairs. But I believe at the end of the day, we will unite and we will move in the same direction. And it's now time to elect our leader. And I want to place in the name of nomination my dear friend, Belinda Beeford. She is a leader who's proven that she can unite. She's put a tremendous team of leaders together, and they're running as a slate. She's brought together the support of our gubernatorial nominee. She's brought together the support of our United States Senator. She's brought together the support of the minority leaders of the House and the Senate. And she's brought together the support of the AFL-CIO Executive Board, who represents all of our brothers and sisters who work in the various unions across the state of West Virginia. And she has recruited many qualified candidates and put a tremendous team of Democrats together. And with her hard work, I believe we will not only win back the Senate, but also win back the House. She has a plan to move our party forward, and she's a proven leader who I believe has earned, and I stress the word earned, the support of this committee. It is truly my honor to place in the name of Chairman, my dear friend, your dear friend, and I encourage you to support her, Belinda Beeford.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Martin Schaefer, former Democratic National Committee man for the state of West Virginia. 30 years ago, here in Charleston, we had a conflict within the party. I was chosen as the nominee by the governor's candidate. Senator Byrd supported me. Rockefeller supported someone else. The night before the election, Clyde C. asked, can we pull the party together? So I went to the person who was running against me for chair, and I said, let's work together. Let's pull the party together. I tell you what I'll do. I'll become the Democratic National Committee man, but you be the chairman. It doesn't matter to me. I'll be on the Democratic National Committee. Well, it was funny because she told me, she said, well, I'm sorry. I can't support you for the Democratic National Committee man position. So I said, I dealt that off for 10 votes from the AFL-CIO. And I said, man, you don't understand. She said, what? I said, you ain't got the votes. And she said, well, yeah, I do. I got the votes or you wouldn't be here. I said, no, I got the votes. And if you don't agree, then you may not be chair. Well, she said, we'll see tomorrow. As I said, I was a Democratic National Committee man. But we got together. And that's what this party needs to do tonight. We need to get together. I'm a little disappointed. Belinda's my friend. Been my friend for 40 years. And I'm disappointed that we have taken the choice to take someone out of the picture who has offered us a facility down by the Capitol to be the state headquarters. A facility that I agreed to give, once we move in, $1,000 a year towards the rent. And, I'd like to see us all get together. And I guess it's going to be up to the executive committee, because right now, I stand here before you, and I'm going to put into nomination Chris Reagan for chair and let the executive committee decide, I would have preferred that we would have had the discussion on the state headquarters prior to this vote, but the agenda is laid out as it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting before you as the committee, Chris Reagan, and now we have two excellent candidates, because I also think Linda's an excellent candidate too. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations for chair? Are there any other nominations for chair? Seeing none, I declare the nominations closed. Now, as we did to the WBEA and NEA when I was president of that one, we take in reverse, let the people speak in reverse order of the nomination. So first speaker will be Chris Reagan. Chris?
Thank you very much. It is great to see everybody here and be with you all. And thank you for your nomination, Mr. Schaefer. In the ice cream sundae that is America, the Republicans are the razor blades. And we are being cut to ribbons. And I don't mean us in leadership in the party. I don't even mean our elected officials. I mean our people out there in the world, the working people of West Virginia, the people who sign the back of their paycheck and not the front, are suffering. And they are suffering specifically because we're not winning. We're not taking care of them. The defeats they've suffered for their wages, for their union rights, for their liberties in court, for their personal dignity at the hands of what we are seeing with Republican leadership in our legislature is devastating. And our gubernatorial candidate said something that really caught me in his remarks today at our convention. Something that shows why Jim Justice is our gubernatorial candidate, and something that he really gets. He said, I'm having this big event at the Green Rock. And he talked about the tickets that everybody was going to get. Now they're free to the public. He said, but I decided to do something else. I decided we're going to do the food drive and have people bring cans of food. And got somebody to get the ball rolling with 10,000 cans of food. You see, our gubernatorial candidate understands that his role is to feed and take care of the people, not to feed and take care of himself. And that is the lesson for all of us in leadership. That is what our party leadership has to do. Make sure that we are feeding and taking care, not of ourselves, but of the people down there. The people who all weekend long were on their own. We need to start taking care of our people because that's our reason for being. It's not so we can have a nice job or a title, but so we can help them. And those people are suffering, and that's our reason for existence. So this election, because of what's going on, is going to be a change election. The party in this state that represents change is going to win in November. But our party cannot represent change if our party is not able to change. If our party is determined to stick only with the past, we are going to face further defeats. And that's not specifically our problem. That's the problem for the people out there who really count. And so I want to see this party embrace change. We have to show that we can do that. Because we have seen the results of going again and again and again with the same plan, or even a plan that looks farther into the past. We need to modernize our party. We need modern messaging and professional fundraising. But these changes are resisted, and everybody knows what's going on. We've all had a lot of calls and talks about this. So I'm not going to pussyfoot around it. There is an entrenched power structure within our party, highly resistant to change, new ideas, and the modern way of winning campaigns. Practically speaking, the Republicans went through this too. When they couldn't win, they had to change. And while we deplore what they're doing substantively, what they're doing tactically is working. And if we do not adopt those modern methods, If we cannot have a professional headquarters, we cannot have a finance director so that the party will have some finances so we can buy our convention lunch. If we can't answer the phone, we cannot win for the people who need us. And that starts with this committee. This committee is elected by all of the Democrats in all of the senatorial districts. And it exists to govern the party. But there is a power structure that tells this committee, your only job is to hand it over to somebody else. And then the committee meets very little or not at all, makes few decisions, and as we have seen, when decisions are made, they're not respected. The committee must govern the party so that it can be for all of the Democrats, and not just the ones with the right connections or with the most important and prestigious positions on the ballot. These changes need to happen now, in a presidential year, when we have a great shot to recapture the Senate, to gain seats in the House. But we can't sugarcoat it. If we don't do it right, we can lose seats too. And the consequences that will have for our people are frightening. We need a changing party that changes with the time. And I'm going to talk about one last thing. And it's what Martin Schaefer talked about it, and I have so much respect for bringing it up. It's the issue of unity. The issue of unity is critical. We're going to hear about that if we have discussion on this issue. We are constantly reminded, correctly, of the need for unity. But that unity cannot be a false unity. It cannot be a unity that says one or two particular people of great influence get everything they want, and everybody else just has to take it. We need a real unity. And I want you today to help unify the Democratic Party by saying it is for everyone, not for any particular set or faction, but for all of the Democrats. That the people, our Democrats, are counting on, and every West Virginian for that matter, are not just their highest officials, but their council, their assessors, their circuit judges, their circuit clerks, their sheriffs. All those races matter. And we need a party that can change and take care of all the Democrats so that we can win a broad victory in the fall. Because that is what real unity will be all about. So I'm asking you to support my candidacy and for us to unify for every single Democrat. To unify as a party that is about the future and not just the past. To unify as a party that is not just about certain geography, but that has representation. Our Eastern Panhandle is unrepresented by our board. Real Southern West Virginia, unrepresented on our board. I visit places with Hillary and Violet, who suffered through this long day with me. And we drive 4.5 hours round trip to Beckley or Lewisburg or Martinsburg. And the party's not present out there. People don't feel connected. We have to activate this committee. Ask yourselves, committee people, what are your orders? What are you supposed to be doing? What's your job description? What are your deadlines? What are you supposed to have turned in? How much accomplished? By when? These are the things that an organization that is going to win has. We cannot afford to just cross our fingers and see what happens. The last thing that our gubernatorial candidate said that I thought was great was his meditation on our economy and how it needs to change. Just like we need to change. It is changing, and he recognizes that. And he talked about how, as other candidates talked as well during the campaign, that, hey, when the good times were here, they weren't always good. We need to embrace the future. But a party that can't change within itself, a party that thinks that the only thing that's wrong with its slate is the part of it that's new, that's a party making a mistake. And so I encourage you to support a party for all the Democrats. I have no intention of excluding anyone if I am elected chair. I have not placed myself on a slate to try to dictate your votes for other positions of leadership by my own. The Democratic way is for us to elect our officers one at a time and make sure everyone is a part of this. So that's why I'm running for chair. That's what's going on, and I'm happy to take any questions about it. Thank you for receiving me here as always. It is a pleasure to be with you.
Ready to bring home this convention after an excellent lunch? Thank you, Senator Manchin. Before this meeting gets started, I wanted to briefly speak to you about the executive committee members and the reasons for all the meetings, the events, and discussions this weekend. And that simply is unity. We passed a resolution about unity. It's what I've worked to do ever since I've been involved in politics. I don't need to tell you that politics has gotten more toxic, more personal, and a lot less civil. But this weekend, nearly 1,000 West Virginians came together at this convention. Think about that. 1,000 of us took time out of our lives, traveled to all corners of the state to come here to Charleston with no trouble and to be part of the solution for moving West Virginia forward. I want to lead them to that mission. I think it's pretty special in this day and age, and I'm quite proud to take part in a positive event. This weekend isn't all about patting ourselves on the back, saying how nice we all are and what we've done. It's you and me and 900 others out there that came to work. It's those of you that I see when I travel to all your counties and when I come to your meetings and I work with you to get people involved and to make trainings. We listen, we talk, and quite frankly, we disagree a little bit. But at the end of the day, we all have the same mission, and that is unity. You know, I've seen a lot of these meetings over the years, and I know that you all know that I've been involved for a long time, and some people want to say that's a bad thing. But what I will tell you is this. When you talk about change, right here's someone that changed. Because years ago, I used to believe we had to do things a certain way, at a certain time, with certain people. And I've come to find out, in visiting with all of you, in going to DNC meetings, that we have to change. We have to bring new ideas. And I think I've done that, and I want to continue to do that. You know, we have a little bit of a budget issue in this state, and we also have a little bit of a budget issue when it comes to Democrats. But I think if we put the right leaders together, if we put the right teams together, that we can make that happen. Just a mile from here, people on the other side of the aisle continue to obstruct progress and needed action. The craziness from those Republicans makes it easy for us to come together and unite. Unity has always been at the center of being a Democrat. Our brothers and sisters in labor have led the way, uniting for better wages, safer work conditions for generations of West Virginia. Our friends in the progressive movement have shown the power in joining to bring positive change to push our state forward. Our wonderful educators have tirelessly come together to give our children better opportunities through education. Our seniors who have bonded together to make certain that a promise made is a promise kept. Our small businesses have combined efforts to help provide West Virginia with good paying jobs and keep money here in our states. Solidarity, my friends, is the key to West Virginia Democrats, placing our state back on the path to a successful future. Come November, Democrats will prevail with all of us working together. But we must unite to make sure all West Virginians know that West Virginians, Democrats, put people first. I thank you all for your hard work in this party. I'm proud to tell you, my friends and Democrats, as I will lead you with one party thought. We are far stronger together than any of us have been apart. And I feel it's important when that so-called slate is put together. It wasn't a slate. It was a combination of all the pieces of the puzzle that we're going to need to work together to victory in the fall. Thank you very much.
It's time to vote, and I was just looking for the secretary. There she is. Madam Secretary, will you come forward? We will do a roll call vote. What? We're going to open it up. We have to open it up for everybody. Anybody else want to speak? Normally we've had seconds and thirds and all that other stuff. Okay. All right. Okay. Can you please come forward and do the roll call?
Point of order.
Yes.
The one proxy which is unsigned, did a little research, and under the bylaws 3C, it clearly states that all proxies must be signed. They can't be delivered over the phone.
Okay, then I would rule, as chair right now, I would rule that that proxy would not be counted.
Can you remind me which one is it?
Carolyn Snyder.
Can you hear me? Sheila Huntley, Kristen Ross, Larry Cuccia, proxy, Karen Correa, Steve White, proxy, Doug Pacemeyer, Tim Riley, proxy, Chris Yost, Holly Smith, Jack Yost, Sean Fluharty,
Chris Reagan.
Susan Riley, Kim Crum, Jeff Kessler, H. John Rogers, proxy, Sharon James, Gene Griggs, proxy, Jerry Brookover, Walt Oval, Lonnie Cruz, Betty Cotton, Keith Brotherton, James Casey, Susan Hubbard, Marie Reynolds, proxy, Stephen Reed, Doug Reynolds, proxy, Anita Skeens Caldwell, proxy, Doris Irwin, Charles Sammons, Cliff Moore, Sue Ann Vickers, Gloria Triplett, Josh Stowers, Robbie Queen, proxy, Jenny Moles, Denise Tucker,
Chris Reagan.
Harvey Payton,
Reagan.
Josh Martin,
Reagan.
Elisa Moy, Linda Good Phillips, proxy,
Chris Reagan.
Paul Flanagan, Richard Browning, proxy.
Chris Reagan.
You know what, I'm gonna have to check. I have instructed proxies that I'll have to review after, before I can count. Barbara Painter, proxy. Mary Lou Haley. Shirley Love. Shirley Love. Jeff Campbell. Julie Stevenson. Andrea Hayes. Bucky Frank, proxy. Frank Bush, proxy. Brenda Mollahan, proxy. Robin Stoltz. Ron Verdale. Martin Schaefer. Belinda Beafor. Kelly Palmer. Beafor. Mike Caputo. Rodney Piles. Rita McCroby, proxy. Carrie Blaney. Jeremy Cooper, proxy.
Reagan.
Mike Withers. Jane Hura. Mary Kay Staggers. Bill Yearout. David Webb,
Here for.
Cheryl Lawrence, John Unger Proxy, Stephen Skinner, Sue Bayless Proxy, Barbara Hatfield Proxy,
Chris Reagan.
Richie Robb Proxy,
Chris Reagan.
and Doug Scott Senior. Grab my instructions proxy. I have 3 instructed proxies.
You have elected Belinda Beaforth. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, as I was talking to each and every one of you when I was calling around asking for your support, I got a lot of advice, a lot of criticism, but I just want you to know that I've heard you all. I'm going to take it into consideration, and we're going to sit down and have some lively discussions on some of the things that you talked to me about. But right now, we need to elect a vice chair. So is there a nomination for vice chair? No?
Sorry.
Close friend, great West Virginia senator, Dem
Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Senator Bill Laird, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Senator, where are you? Come on up here. I want everybody to give this man a great big welcome. This is a guy that understands politics. This is a guy that's run for office, knows how to get people involved. I've been a friend of his since the ABC days. He's been a sheriff, and he's very well respected in his community. And when I was talking to folks about Bill Laird, they go, finally, we got that angry white man standing up for us and speaking for our party. So, Vice Chair, congratulations. I look forward to working with you. And we're going to make a great team.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Wow. It's indeed a great honor and privilege to have been asked to consider the office of Vice Chairman of the State Democrat Party. That is something I don't believe that you wake up some morning and decide you want to aspire to and seek. But nonetheless, I'm at a point in time in my life where I'm kind of looking forward to the opportunity to give back to things that have been good to me throughout my lifetime. And I've had the great honor and privilege to have held public office for 30 consecutive years. And it was a very difficult decision for me personally to make to decide that perhaps that was enough. But this is a real opportunity, I think, to go back to my roots and my core values and beliefs of what it is to be a Democrat. And I grew up in a Democrat household. Little known codicil in my resume, my father served in the United States Senate, believe it or not. Then Governor Bill Marlin, Senator Kilgore died in office, and my dad was appointed to the United States Senate. When my dad died in 1974, my mother remarried a good family friend, former Congressman Jim Key. So you can imagine at the dinner table growing up, we talked about the importance of the Democrat Party. But at this stage in my life, it's not about resume building, I can assure you that. What it is about is joining a team. And I believe an important role of vice chairman is to work hard and support the good work of the chairman. And again, unity is, believe you me, we have a common foe. And if I've learned anything in my service in the West Virginia State Senate, it's the importance of sticking together, building unity, working together as a team, and getting the job done. So, Madam Chairman, I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and go to work.
Thank you, Bill. The next office is for the second vice chair. Are there any nominations for second vice? Mike Caputo? Kenny Perdue. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Kenny Perdue, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? I don't know where Kenny is. Well, I do know where he is. He's having fun on a fishing trip. He's the smart guy. But anyway, he called me a little while ago, said to tell you well thanks, and as soon as he gets back, no one else can take a vacation. He's going to put you all to work. Associate Chair. Are there any nominations for Associate Chair? Ron Fergale?
Yes, so Madam Chairman, I like Bob Stoltz for Associate Chair.
Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? All those in favor of Bob Stoltz, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No, Robert, you can't oppose it. Bob, thank you. Bob's done a great job of working with our county chairs, doing some trainings, and we appreciate you, Bob. National Committee Man. Pat Maroney. Arby Payton nominated Pat Maroney. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? If Sue Ann could talk, she'd say close the nomination. All those in favor of Pat Maroney signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Anita, you don't have a vote. The next office is National Committee Woman. Nancy Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie nominates a great Democrat, Elaine Harris. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? All those in favor of Elaine Harris signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Elaine. Look forward to working with you. Now we have our congressional vice chairs. First District Vice Chair. Are there any nominations for First District Vice Chair? Sue Ellen? Tom Steinecker. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? All those in favor of Tom Steinecker signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Vice Chair in the 2nd Congressional District. Tom Vogel. Are there, Karen Correa? nominated Tom. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? All those in favor of Tom Vogel signify by saying aye. Aye. I think you're on here as a non-voting member, Tom. The 3rd district. Any nominations?
Josh Stowers.
Jim Casey nominated Josh Stowers. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Josh Stowers signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Welcome, Josh. Thank you. These guys have done a good job in helping us set up candidate training, as well as helping us with the chairs in their area, the executive committees, and you know, I want to brag on all of them because they've done great things, but I especially want to shout out to Josh. When I was down in Lincoln County, in the county that he's from, they not only had a precinct worker for every precinct, they had got a Young Democrats group involved, so he's going to tell us how he made all that happen and share it with everyone else. Tom's done a great job in going over to the Eastern Panhandle, working with those folks, and we want to continue that, and of course Tom Stoniker is very well respected in the first, so you can vouch for that. So, recruiting secretary. Are there any nominations for secretary?
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate
That she is. Holly Smith nominated Kelly Palmer. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Kelly Palmer signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And for associate secretary.
Susan Hubbard is not here, and I'd like to nominate her.
Bonnie Fruth, all right. Bonnie Fruth nominates Susan Hubbard. She's downstairs protecting our platform. So, any other nominations? Any other nominations? Susan Hubbard. All those in favor of Susan Hubbard, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Treasurer. Are there any nominations for treasurer? Yeah, absolutely. Tom Vogel, who's worked with Jerry Brookover, nominates Jerry Brookover for treasurer. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of Jerry Brookover, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Jerry. Parliamentarian.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to nominate James Casey.
Bonnie Fruth would like to nominate James Casey. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All those in favor of James Casey, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Jim, and thank you for thanks for getting up there yesterday and helping us out a little bit. Good job. Time, we need I would like to ask Marie Plezioso to come up. Marie has been working on rules with me and with this convention, and the next order of business that we have is the election of at-large delegates to the National Convention. There's a group that are called PLEO, which are pledged leaders, elected officials. And I'll go do this one, and then we'll go ahead and let you do the at-large. But with the PLEO delegates, the way this works is the presidential campaigns, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marie, correct me if I'm wrong, but the presidential campaigns weigh in on the recommendation for this. The only other thing, there were only 3 that filed to run for that. And so At this time, you want to announce who those are? You want me to announce them? Okay. I'll take this and then Marie can take over. The Bernie Sanders campaign has nominated Senator Jeff Kessler as a PLEO and Kristen Ross as a PLEO. Hillary Clinton has chosen Marie Prezioso as her PLEO. And again, these were the only 3 people, and they did have to be signed off by the presidential candidate. So, I need a motion from the floor to accept the 3 PLEO. Second. All those in favor? Martin Schaefer. All those in favor? Opposed? We just need to get a little bit of paperwork. Let me explain how this works. On your forms, when you filed to run for delegate to the National Convention, there were 2 boxes that you checked. There was the precinct level or the caucus level that we chose last night, and the at-large. And so there were some folks that checked both of those boxes. And there were some folks that won the caucus, so therefore that takes them out of the at-large delegate position. Again, these are folks that both presidential campaigns had to approve. And so I'm going to ask Marie to come up and tell you and explain to you.
The way it works, because it's very proportionate, there's 6 at-large delegates. Bernie Sanders gets 4, and Hillary Clinton gets 2. And we also have to be balanced by men and women. So we have 37 delegates, and we counted the 10 that we have, like the 10 men and 10 women. I'm sorry. There we go. Right, okay. We have 37 delegates to the Democratic National Convention. And and it has to be as balanced as it can by men and women. So we have to have 19 and 18, one or the other. We do have a little flexibility there. At the caucus level, we elected 10 men and 10 women, so we're even there. And then we have the super delegates, which we have 5 men and 3 women. So that means as you go down and you're doing the calculation, you have to make sure that it's equally balanced. The PLEOs, we have 2 women and 1 man. So that kind of almost puts us even there, so that when we elect the 6 at large, it comes down to 3 men and 3 women. Sanders people get 4, and Clinton people get 2. So I don't know, is there someone here from Sanders campaign? Because I don't really want to speak for them.
Because Kurt has been in touch with the campaign and the folks that are picking and in charge of the delegate selection. And it's been narrowed down to...
Yeah, so the Sanders people get 2 men, 2 women, Hillary gets 1 man, 1 woman.
I can tell you that there weren't as many Hillary because there weren't as many slots.
Otherwise,
the tally here?
Yeah. Hey, Tally, can you hear me? Anyway, if we divide it that way between 3 men and 3 women, then it end up at the end with 19 men and 18 women. We can't split one person. And that makes up for the super delegates because we have the governor's mail and our U.S. senator's mail, so that's kind of doing the balance there. We'll do the split people first, and there's one male and one female. And the list that we have, that they do have a recommendation. They're recommending Karen Toria and Corey Flowers from the largest. I'm sorry. Corey Flowers from third and Karen Toria second. Those are the two that they have recommended. And if I hear a motion to, they came. I'll tell you that part of the reason was that they were very close when we did the caucus level. They were very, very close to the next person down, and so that weighed in on it to help suggest that might be a good recommendation to the committee. So I think there was a motion by Martin Shaker and second by Vickers.
Are these delegates for standards that we're talking about?
These are for Hillary.
Okay. Then I have a nomination.
Okay.
I would nominate Dan Gardner. Dan Gardner from the caucus last night in the 1st District was in a tie. And 5 times the votes were counted. And on their last count, another vote was found. And so when you speak about those who were close in the caucus, he was tied 5 times, and then a vote found. So Dan Gardner is worthy of consideration for delegate at large also. For Hillary, yeah, for Hillary.
All right, I think he was suggesting Dan Gardner from Mineral County.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, he's on the at-large list. Is that okay? Are there going to be any more recommendations from that list? Because what we might want to do is go ahead and do the female first, and then do the male. Okay. The question is on Karen Coria for the female Hillary delegate from the 2nd Congressional District. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Karen. Okay, and now I guess we have 2. No, I don't think we're going to need a ballot. There's been 2. Let's see, what would we like to have? Let's see if we can do it by voice vote first, maybe, and then, or we could maybe stand up. Would you rather stand up? Hands? Hands. Okay, we're going to do hands. Okay. So the first Hillary person would be Corey Flowers from the 3rd Congressional District.
Count them down. Have people count their hands down.
Okay, the second is for Dick. 38, okay, and now Daniel Gardner from Mineral County. Tim. Okay, I think Corey is the winner. Corey's the back. All right, that takes care of the Glory slots that are available. And now on the party, there are 2 males, 2 females, and I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for them.
Thank you, Marie. Thanks to the committee. The Sanders campaign has communicated with me regarding the at-large positions. They basically struck everyone on the male side, except for Justin Click and Franz Foreman. So there would need to be need to be a motion to accept those 2 names. All right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay.
Okay, and you guys are not, this email just came to me a few minutes ago. We are going to have to create a ballot for the female position. There are 3 females and 2 positions, unless we can do.
Okay, what are the 3 names?
Carissa Stoller.
Is Carissa here?
Give us 1 second, folks.
I'm sorry, Carissa Stoller, Catherine Conant, C-O-N-A-N-T, and Emil Cavelli, is it K-A-V-E-L? Okay, let me see if I can find him on the list. Let's see. Let me see if I can see this. Okay, Catherine Conant is from Jefferson County. Did you see Stoller here?
Yes.
Okay. Carissa Stoller is from Monongalia County, and we may be It's okay. It's Amal, and then the middle name is B-O-U-A-F-F. This writing is about this big.
Yes.
And the last name. Oh, hold on a minute. Cabell from Mercer County. Yes.
No, she is,
Do you have her phone? She's in Mercer County.
yeah. She was on resident convention, her husband won. She made an announcement that
No.
Now, did she withdraw from the district level or both? Because a lot of them,
I'll call her out.
yes, please do.
Step right out.
Let's take a vote.
All right, you have 2 votes, okay? And so, yeah, only vote twice, okay? Do not vote 3 times. All right? We're going to do Carissa Stoller first. Okay, yeah, it's Catherine. Catherine Hood, is she here? Is Catherine here?
I'll vote for it.
She is down at the delegates. Thank you. She's down 25.
Carissa had 28 votes and Catherine had 26 votes. Those are your 2. Okay, now we have, the Clinton people have 1 alternate, and they have made a recommendation that be Nikki Barone. So do I hear a motion that we accept Nikki Barone? Okay, case, it's been moved and seconded that Nikki Barone, pardon? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that Nikki Barone be the alternate for Hillary Clinton. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Okay. All right, now we have an alternate for Bernie Sanders, and I don't know, since they really don't have someone here, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people that are on that list.
Is there anyone here that ran or is a delegate who would like to be an alternate for that position? It could be anything. It should be now.
What did you do? Oh, I had.
Okay. Alrighty, I guess, there's been who made the motion? Carrie, did you kill it? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that Shirley Love be the alternate for the Bernie Sanders campaign. All those in favor want to signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. One reminder, any delegates in the National Convention, we're going to be meeting afterwards in, where are we meeting? In here.
Did they nominate office?
Okay, I'm going to turn these back over to the chair. Is there a motion to adjourn so we can meet with the delegate? All right, thank you all very much. Look forward for a call really soon.